You probably know by now. How are you, everyone? This is Charlie from Literary Gladiators, doing another review on some items. I'm trying to contribute as much as I possibly can. Thank you to all of you who watch these videos and not go, ah! Thank you for your comments, your likes, and all that good stuff. We have a Patreon, but I'm not going to start with that nonsense now. So, I'm doing a book review here. Not a book review, just one of my individual videos here about, you guessed it, well, I had to pull the cover off. I was about to return this to the library, and I got a little bit of steak sauce on it. So I ended up just saying, you know what, screw it, it's mine, because I work at the library. So, secret's out. Oops. The Origins of the Bill of Rights by, I have the author's name here. This took me forever to finish, but I'm glad I did, because I was reading so much other stuff. For those of you who don't know this, I am in paralegal school. Today, as of this filming, I handed in all of my final papers and assignments to the Institute. I'm very happy. I'm finally reading for pleasure now, so law is something I hold pretty close. I mean, I don't put it on a pedestal, but I want to know, like everyone else does, our rights, our guarantees, and what we have, especially with the turbulent times that we live in. And that can be said for the 20s and 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way up today. Leonard Levy. So this takes you, I'm going to keep this real short. This book came out in 1999 is when it was published. It takes you through the first 10, obviously, there were 12, some people don't know this, but there were originally 12 amendments. They took out the last two. One was Bill of Attainder, and the other one was ex facto laws. Basically, if it was a crime when it was being committed, or if I have my information right, they can't just automatically say, well, it's a crime now, so you're going to be jailed for it. They can't do that now. And then there was, like I said, the Bill of Attainder, and even that's like, what? So, it gives you a nice discourse, a nice sound education, I'd like to say, through the book, through these Bill of Rights, and it gives you examples, for example, chronological. I'm not going to really go through the whole thing here, but the Magna Carta, one of the most important documents that was ever had for legal documents. It's just as important as the U.S. Constitution and all of these other things that make America what it is, America. And a lot of a lot of emphasis was put on to, like I said, they did the first two amendments that they struck out, like Bill of Attainder. You got habeas corpus. That basically that translates to you have the body. It's Latin for that. If somebody was jailed and they were not properly, if they didn't belong in jail and they would just say, hey, they would petition the court. They would do a writ of habeas corpus, and they would realize, oh, this person doesn't belong here. There's also a table for source of provisions of the Bill of Rights from this British, Virginia versions, because we came over from the common law of England. We came over once we established that we were no longer going to the crown. We decided that we're done with that. It was too much. The government was basically too powerful. Personally, I still think the government can be a little bit too powerful, but that's for a whole nother different topic. Again, this book, it's not a beach read, but I enjoyed it. It was, like I said, it helped me understand each Bill of Rights. There are the 10 that we have. And some of them, still, I had to read this sometimes I had to read it a little bit more. And again, some chapters I just say, screw it, start over and do it again. But, again, you have your double jeopardy clause. Some people are like, well, I was already tried for that. But there is a slight chance that you can't be tried for the same offense twice. but there's some kind of exception there where if, for example, let's say by pleading guilty, you basically waive your rights right then and there by saying, I plead guilty. And you enter a guilty plea. You're basically saying, I don't have any rights now. I want to get this off my whatever. But you can't then go back and say, oh well, I was already tried for that, blah blah blah. And has to be other things that happen because, of course, we know that these are checks and balances from the government, the early government, the framers of the Constitution, as they're affectionately known as. But like I said, habeas corpus is in there. All of the right to keep and bear arms, and how and it also talks about how each one can be interpreted by the courts. There's something called stare decisis. Every court is supposed to go by that, which basically means it's been decided, leave it the heck alone, going by those original rulings. To have something overturned, recently there was a law that was over 50 years old. 1973 was the date. I'm not going to go too much about it. I'm sure we know what it is. It was overturned by the Supreme Court. It takes a lot of work to overturn something that's considered common law or stare decisis. So, this book goes into about how, like I said, the courts interpret everything and the freedom, all of those basic rights that we have on search and seizures. I'm not going to go any further. 9 out of 10 because not as accessible as I wanted it to be. You had to go back and read a little bit more. This is again, this is not a beach read. I do have one coming up though. Yes, I like to play. But like I said, it's good for and I would recommend this for law students or those who are in pre-law programs, myself in paralegal programs, or anyone who actually gives a rat's rear end about the Bill of Rights if they get pulled over. Obviously be respectful and don't be, I pay your salary. That's the last thing a cop wants to hear. But be respectful and say, and just, basically mind your P's and Q's. And, very good item. Origins of the Bill of Rights. Copyright was 1999 by Leonard Levy. And I'm going to go eat a nice big bowl of soup. I will see you later, and like I said earlier, we do have a Patreon. We want to give to you, the viewers, so thank you for all you have done. Thank you for all you continue to do. And like I said, I'm going to go eat that soup before I knock it over like an angry cat. Goodbye!